All right, it being 6 o'clock, I'll call the Budget Committee to order, and we'll, according to the agenda, we're going to take a roll call first. Then we're going to take allegiance. Starting from my left.
Tammy Smith.
Peg Hurd.
Dennis Woods.
Bob Carrier.
Humphrey Williams.
And Thomas McDougall. We have a quorum. We stand to say pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Oh, you know what? I looked at the wrong meeting, wrong agenda.
You got a little dyslexic.
Yeah, that's
That's all right. I mean,
oh well.
I even put
That's
it
all
up.
right. We have a quorum. We're gonna start. Okay. We'll start out with we decided or voted as a board. The selectmen agreed that on the 19th of September we will have our departmental budget review, where the departments present their budgets, with the understanding that there will be some things that we don't know the amounts of, such as insurance and whatnot, that comes at the end of the year. Yes, Peg.
All right, it says here the 14th.
Yeah, is it 14th and 19th?
What did I say? I thought it
The
said
19th.
19th.
You said
Oh.
the 19th, okay.
I saw 2019.
All right.
It is the 14th.
Thank you. Phew, I've already got that in my
Yeah,
calendar.
It is good. I think I do too. It is the 14th. So
Okay.
at I believe we're going to start around about 9 o'clock. That's
Okay.
what we're going to aim for.
Yep.
And again, that'll be when the town departments present their budgets, with the knowledge that some things will change that we don't know the final cost on yet, such as insurance. And Mr. Carrier has put together a procedure. I apologize, I did not get this up for everybody to look at earlier. He did send it to me, and I didn't get it put up on the Google site, and I don't know that I still have it up there yet. Been busy as a one-arm paper hanger here lately. But anyway, if we take a quick peek at his procedure he put together, basically the two committees are gonna be here together. They will be real meetings for both of us, because we will have quorums. Selectmen will go first, ask their questions of the budget. We'll go second. And generally, the process will be the selectmen would vote on the budget, they would send it to us, and what we end up with will be the budget gets presented to the people.
We have a hard
That's
copy
in
of it.
general. I skipped a whole bunch of stuff Bob had in here, but that's in general the process. Bob, if you want to bring out anything
Just one
specific.
thing.
Yep.
I think it was right after 7. I should have put the selectmen will, after it's all done, they will have the selectmen will adjourn the meeting, and then we'll adjourn ours, because it's going to be late.
Yeah.
We're not going to want to do any other business.
Oh, yeah.
And since my computer is gone, I couldn't come back and redo it.
Okay.
The rest of this stuff is something I put extra that I'm hoping that Ernie will look at it, and
Yeah.
if you can send it to him and see what he
Yeah.
says.
Yeah.
On the other page is a preliminary schedule that Mr. Rawson gave me. No, it wasn't. He mentioned it though, but Ernie did give it to me, and
Okay.
that could change a little, but the times
Yeah.
are gonna stay the same,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
just
yeah.
gives us an idea, and
Yeah, like I said, it looks, small ones in the beginning, so people don't have to wait around all day, and gives people an idea if they don't want to be here right at 9 o'clock. Hey, come at 9 if you're worried about cemetery stuff or planning and code stuff. Gives an idea of when people would have to be here, and it's good for the public as well.
okay, Chairman, it looks like it's pretty balanced how I would have done it. It looks balanced. Nothing too heavy at once. It's spread out a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, anybody have any questions about that? Comments? Concerns? All right,
Yeah, while we're there, Mr. Chairman, I decided to slip in the budgets.
yep,
Okay,
on the back page, okay.
what's on this one?
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know where to put it, because it dawned on me late Friday that we're going to be in session when they ask for the budget.
Yeah, okay, we'll,
if you want to put it someplace, we can.
Okay, let me, as I'm looking at our times here, never mind, scratch that. Okay, no, okay, I think we're good.
Just one thing, Sherry, you said something about not being able to be here all day.
No, I can be here all day.
You can?
Yes.
Okay,
I just can't make Monday nights. I can't make 2 Mondays a month.
okay. This is just gonna be one
Yep.
deal on a
I can
Saturday.
be
So
there
you're all set? Okay,
on
great.
September 14th, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, I'm set.
Okay, all right, if we can, as Bob mentioned, they'd like to have the budgets, the town administrator would like to have the budgets, of course, before our meeting on the 14th. We as a budget committee, we actually have a budget. And Bob summarized what the budget is here and what the suggestion for next year. The budget previous to 2019 had always been just a line item budget committee. 2019, we tried to separate it out and say, these are what we want the monies for, recording, clerk training, legal notices, printing, copying, so on and so forth. The, of course, default budget, so we weren't allowed to couldn't add those extra lines in to show the detail. This shows the detail of what we would like. And so we're basically $600 higher than we would be $600 higher than before. Let's see, I think do you know what's higher in here, Bob?
What's that?
What do you know what pushed the number higher from
Yes.
the 2,600 to 3,190?
Yes, there's more meetings than there was before. But the only reason I did this is, if you look at the bottom where it says January,
Yep.
there are 5, and I marked why they were there. Okay, is a given. But February, there's 2 deliberative sessions, but the last 2 years, the town and the school held a deliberation session on the same Saturday. Not knowing if they're going to agree to that this year, I had to add an extra one.
Yep. Okay.
Then there's a public hearing for the water district in February, and we have a regular scheduled meeting. Now,
Okay. So most of it was driven from the recording secretary for more meetings.
for that there, and the other one was training.
Okay. Sending more people.
6 at-large members. Last year, I put it to 3. One of the board members was questioning it, and I understand. If they want to go every year, they can go.
Yep.
And I budgeted for 6. Legal notices, that's pretty tough. It depends on how many words you're going to put into the public hearings. And it's driven by there, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
If the February one, they decide to go, we can cut one meeting right there. And as for the public hearing for the water district, if they can make our meeting, we can get rid of that
Yep.
one.
Okay.
So we can reduce this budget.
Okay. Well, let's. Anybody else have any thoughts on our number of 3,190?
At any time, Mr.
Did-
Chairman, if somebody wants to talk about or reduce it, it's going to stay open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of the 2,600 last year, what did we spend?
Thank you. I was just gonna
That, I don't
look.
have I don't have that number on
We
me.
didn't spend the 2,600.
No, we
I would
didn't.
suggest that we try to keep it at 2,600 if we,
We can get it close.
Yeah.
Like I said, I put 2 deliberative sessions, that's 2 Saturdays. But if they agree, the school and the town administrator do it in one, there goes one of those meetings. The other one down here, the public hearing for the water district, if they can meet with us, we can make that into a workshop. We can get rid of that one. So there's actually probably 2 meetings in February we could get
Okay.
out.
Give me just a second here, and I should be able to tell you what we spent.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, I'm
That should
looking.
be in. Okay, it's a race, Peg. It's a race.
Eh.
You're probably gonna win.
Budget committee, we've spent $825.95
And that's to date.
to date,
That's this year.
as of
right?
June.
So we're on track.
I
for a
think,
little over
I think-
No,
1,600.
that's-
yeah, well, that's that, and remember that's basically.
There's training too. so-
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
It's
say.
all-
That is the deliberative sessions and meetings in the beginning to now. That doesn't count the training and
Yep.
whatever extra meetings we may have from here on.
Dennis, did you, last year you met, how much did we spend last year? Yeah, see, I don't have last year's.
Yeah,
budget,
Did
which
you go
I
to
know he was
that?
gonna ask.
Training?
Yeah.
But the training has not occurred yet for this year's
Yeah,
budget.
Right,
No,
Yeah, so we
there's 800 there, you double that for what we've got and add the training, and you're gonna be around $2,200, right?
we can get closer than that. I mean, if you wanna take one of the, well, legal notices, again, it's gonna be, we get 3 public hearings, and how much you wanna write on it, because I know it's gone up.
I think rather than try to change it right now, my suggestion is leave what you've got
Yeah,
here,
we
and
got
then we're
plenty-
gonna
we
find
got
out,
plenty of
we're
time
gonna
to
find
change
out
it.
when we
Yeah.
meet in September,
Yeah.
you know, what, you
Absolutely.
know,
Okay,
so.
all right,
we
so-
go from there. Makes
could
sense.
I have a motion? So it sounds like we're in agreement to stay with this. We've got to have something to give to Ernie.
I will make a motion that we go with what Bob has projected at this time, and then we'll adjust as we go through in September.
I will second that.
I would hope that we did not do that, so we don't have to reopen it again. Because once we make a motion, we're gonna send this is almost locked in.
But, okay, we've got a motion and a second on the floor, so for discussion.
Yeah, that was the only thing I was talking
Yeah.
about. If it stays, I'd rather not approve any budgets.
But we're not, we're just saying, and this is a motion to send it to Ernie. It's not saying this is our budget.
Okay.
This is saying, yes, we will send this to Ernie so that we can look at it later.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not approved at this point.
This is just,
Okay, 'cause
yeah,
we
we'll
can-
send this to Ernie, and I kind of agree with Dennis that maybe there's, some room that we can take somehow.
Oh, absolutely.
And we can do some research, okay, how much will it cost us to publish the public hearings? That kind of thing, so.
Yeah, I think one to look at too is what did we spend on legal notices, which is a pretty
Yeah.
big piece that may
Yeah.
not, that may be some savings right
Yeah,
there.
and that's basically, legal notices is, that's publishing in the newspaper, hey, you're gonna have a public hearing.
Right.
And you gotta publish it in 2 spots, I think, or something.
Yeah, and I
we
think
can
it
post
depends
it
on
there.
what we put in.
it goes
Yeah.
in the paper at least, but then there's 2
Yeah.
locations you gotta
Yeah,
get it.
so if we send this to Ernie, that gives us a chance to look at it and say, okay, this is something to start with.
Yeah.
And gives us a chance to review the final numbers.
I did
Okay,
go
so I
on-
got
yeah, okay.
a motion, a second, and we had some discussion. Any more discussion about it? And we have a vote to send the proposed budget to Ernie for inclusion in the budget materials for our meeting on the September 14th.
Is there a roll call?
We can just vote.
Aye.
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 Those opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion passes unanimously.
While we're going to town reports, I guess, Mr. Chairman, I just gonna, whoops, am I too fast? Where's my agenda?
You might be a little bit faster, Bob.
Okay, you call.
I'm
it.
not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
pull my
have to
agenda up
town-
too.
Okay,
Town
you're right,
approach
you're
it.
right. Continue on, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I wasn't able to make it to the DPW meeting. What was the general thought on meeting down there? Was it a good productive meeting? I think it was. Did people learn something about where money goes?
Oh, yeah. we went-
Absolutely.
All right.
Very productive meeting.
Okay, great. I wish I could have been there. I had something else I had to deal with yesterday, so unfortunately wasn't able to make it.
Mr. Chairman, like I
Yes.
say, my computer's down, I recorded it, and it's gonna take me a while
Okay.
to get it put together. There was a lot of good stuff
Okay,
that came.
all right, yeah, and again, this was more of an information for us kind of thing. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to have verbatim
Well,
minutes from this.
I'll try and get
Yep.
around it, and then
Yep.
depending on the committee members that were
Yep.
there. to-
Okay,
was
and
missing.
I believe the last meeting I said I would talk to Ernie about possibly when we could meet with him to review the other town department budgets. I have let the committee down. I did not chat with Ernie about when we can meet with him to discuss the town budgets. I will do that. And I will try to get something scheduled for early in the month of August. And so I don't have it on the calendar, but while it's on my mind, traditionally we have taken the month of August off and have not met because there's usually not a lot going on. Kind of sounds like we got some stuff going on. What's the board's general feeling for taking the month of August off? And when I say take it off, we won't have a regularly scheduled meeting.
I thought we took July off last year.
July, was it July?
It's July.
Oh, I thought it
Let's
was
go
August.
home.
Yes, it was July.
Oh, well, we missed July. Used to take a meeting off during the summer. How about that?
If I might on that
Yep.
one, Tom. I know the intent now is to have the one, because we talked about, we're gonna have the
Yep.
one meeting in September as opposed to a whole slew of meetings in November. I would suggest that we have a meeting in August, because that's gonna be the only meeting prior to
Yep.
the September 14th time.
What would the date of that meeting be?
Um,
Do we know?
In
Give me a
August,
second, I can tell you.
Oh, I don't have the August.
It would be, it's a
August
race, it's a race,
27th.
It's a race. And I would agree, August 27th.
Okay, I will not be here on August 27th. so-
Okay.
Okay. Now, I put a date on when we should get the backups. I said September 6th, and I was told we're gonna get it earlier than that.
Okay.
And the format's gonna change, I guess. It's gonna be something I'm not familiar with.
Well, it's, I've chatted with Ernie a little bit about that.
Okay.
But okay, so, is everybody in agreement? Dennis isn't gonna be here, he's gonna be in agreement with whatever we wanna do.
Yeah.
We will meet on our regularly scheduled meeting in August, it sounds like. Okay. And given that things are changed up just a little bit, that's probably not a bad idea. And we've got the other meeting occurring before our regularly scheduled meeting in September on the 14th, so. Let us get our ducks in a row and whatnot. Let's see, Mr. Humphrey and Dennis, I believe you met yesterday, or today? Today with Nate, the business manager at the school. If you give a brief summary of what interesting things you might have learned.
well, Nate was there, Nathan Castle was there, I know Peg was there, Dennis, myself, Earl Sussman was there, and so wasn't Mr. Shute. It was a good, productive meeting. I'll start off with to help with some of the confusion aspect, where we were before. Nathan was very good in explaining where some of the confusing factors were, and one of the key things was, and I'm going to bring it up for a moment, so if anybody has any questions, I can show it. I had been asking repeatedly, looking at where we stood for ending a particular month, how much money had been expended, and then looking at the next month's expenditures, and when you put them together, they didn't add up. There was disparity in various amounts. So today, when I was asking him, because I says I can see it again in June, he asked me what was the date on the report. So told him it was June 3rd. That's what I'm looking at right here. And he goes, so when you were looking at your May expenses, the total, there's actually charges from June in there. It doesn't show under the current period, but it does roll into the total, so that's why there was a variation. It goes, he hadn't been ending the deadline at the end of the month, and he says he's going to look to do that, to try to help clarify that. He was just giving us whatever the totals were at that particular date he did the report, and that's why there was a disparity each and every month. So without being able to see that, it made it a lot more complicated. He also explained, because I've been asking about the different, and I know Dennis had asked, I'll let him talk a little bit more about the encumbrances afterwards, but I was asking about looking at an expense report and what percentage was remaining each month. I says it was like showing 1% remaining when we were 4 or 5 months before the end of the year. I found out today, and the way Nathan explained it, is he takes the money that he's projecting for expenditures on each of these lines and he puts it in the encumbrance column. That's what he's projecting they're going to spend, and he has some money remaining. So when you see a line that says 1% remaining, that's over and above what he thought the expenditures might be for the entire school year. So we're sitting there looking at trying to figure out what percentage of money is remaining when it wasn't anything to do with how much money was available to them to pay out what they had to. So he's got a new system that he says he's gonna look to see if he can do the same thing we do with some of the town reports. In other words, show us the percentage remaining, so that we have an understanding of whether or not the budget's going to make it. And I think it's going to be even probably more important this year to have some understanding where they're under the default, and I know they're working through some of that. But so that took a little bit, and he would be able to explain what we had to do there. The other piece in here, and I was asking him, and he's going to go back and look at answers for this to kind of summarize it. I had asked him about why the adopted budget and the revised budget always seemed to be the same, but they were changing. And he says that's the way he'd been shown. That's what he'd been doing. But he's gonna look to see if there's something a little bit different, because I asked him to look at the adopted budget shown on the expenditure report does not line up with the adopted budget on the revenue, and it doesn't match necessarily the adopted budget that was shown in the vote. He's got some variation on how, and he's gonna go back and look, and he says as to how he arrived at those numbers. So he's gonna report back to us on that later, but that was one of the key ones that I says, he needed to try to figure out. But he was saying there's some differences in how money is allotted to the system, to the school board. So that's what he's gonna go back and try to figure out. But and to give you just the numbers, because I says, okay, you've got a general fund of 9.684 million. This was on the June report, the May report. And on the revenue, it shows 9.35 million under that. So there was, quite a difference. So like I said, he couldn't explain it now, but he knows that he had written some stuff down based on comments that were coming up before, so he's gonna go back through and review that. But he said some of it comes into how food services are taken care of too. And he wasn't sure just how much that had an impact, because they project what they're gonna spend for money dealing with food, what they get for, what they get based on students, what are they gonna get back from revenue, what the parents pay, and then how much money they have to transfer, into the system, because that answered another question I had last month about why there was a difference between adopted general fund and the final. Peg had answered that one. It was a transfer of funds for food service, and what that actually was, and I didn't even understand that then. I understood there was a number there, but they projected so much money for contracted services. That other $45,000 is actually more of an expense, because there was more of an expense than they projected originally. So that's how that got in there. So all in all, it was a very open, very good discussion. I'd like Dennis to add his piece, because I know the encumbrances piece I wanted you to talk to, because of what we had discussed.
So if the committee members remember, we pointed out that we looked at salaries primarily,
Yep.
and the encumbrances were staggering amounts of money. And with 1 month left in the year, and with May's expenses being about $66K, we had somewhere in the neighborhood of $220,000 between encumbrance and remaining. So it just didn't add up, and so we questioned that. And it turns out what that $200,000 is the fact that they pay the teachers through September or through August.
August, July and August, yeah,
Say,
the books are
So,
closed.
so all of that money is encumbered ahead of time in order to pay that out. But back on encumbrances a little bit, one of the things that Nathan said was anything that he knows that he's got coming up during the year, he will automatically put it in encumbrance. The remaining goes to zero, and he works off the encumbrance. So if we're as we are everybody's looking at these budgets, not knowing that information, we spend an awful lot of time saying what's this, what's that, what's this, what's that. So I made a couple of suggestions. I think I made it here even with the town budget, and that is if you're treating this as commitments, which is basically what they're doing with encumbrances, then maybe if we have a calendarized spending profile of your bottom line, take your bottom line and show us how it's going to be spent by line item, by month, you'll eliminate 75% of the questions that we have. So I think Nate thought that was a pretty good idea, and he's going to look into the new system that you're going to be using or have just started using to see if that capability is inherent in the system.
Yeah, he also wants to find out, he agreed with looking at the percentages, as I told him, when we see things like percentage remaining, we're not thinking that you've already calculated all your money spent under encumbrances. He uses the encumbrance line to pay things out, where the town uses encumbrance for something totally different. It's rolling money from one year to the next for specific items. So that clarified quite a bit, because it's like, where's the money being spent? So if you look at the June report, what he says is he zeroes out the encumbrances at that point, and then whatever shows under the remaining, some of them are positive, some of them are negative. They ended up with just under 1% total, within 1% of the total projections for the year. So,
Great.
but no, like I said, it was very, very productive. He was actually thankful we get into some of the discussions. I know Earl was good, was thankful that we did get into at least being able to clarify all this. Told him that the whole goal is, like Dennis says, if we have some way of being able to pass that along or even show that information somewhere online, next people coming in aren't going to have to start all over again asking the same types of questions.
Yep.
You know?
Now, separate.
Now, I was just going to say one thing with the encumbrances. I mean, you basically said, we know in the beginning of the year or the beginning of July that we need to spend so much on blah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what he will encumber. And if that is less than what the budgeted amount was, then yeah, we will have, and I think that first line we're like 2.6%
Remaining.
left to go.
Yep.
But that was a salary line, which when the budget is done, it's based on the people who are in place at the time. And if, Johnny leaves and Mary comes in at a lesser salary, then that's what we need to spend, not the full amount that was actually budgeted. So
That is true with the salaries, but
Yeah.
his initial statement was that they do that with just about everything that they know there is a contract for or a
Right.
commitment for.
Right.
They move that money immediately into the encumbrance and they
Right.
spend it out of that. So, which is which is different than the town does it, so it makes our job
Yeah.
a little bit
Well,
more difficult.
The other piece on that too was he says he doesn't put he doesn't roll all the encumbrances up right away, because they come through, and that was the other piece that I think was hard for us at first until we really talked about it, was he does that at varying points up through October.
right.
And once he gets to the end of October, because I asked him about, and I'll tell you this, I had asked him about it. I says, you're in a fiscal budget. The July 1st, the July 1st to June 30th. That was when I asked about why are you encumbering money the way you do? Why? Because like 1 year's salary, that when it ends in June, they're still paying July and August. I had asked why that wasn't why didn't you encumber money then and to kind of add it to your next budget? Which is kind of like rolling money over the town does at the end of the year. But because of how the budget bases out, how the budget works out with the state, they can't. I mean, it's hard, it was hard to be able to understand why it wouldn't fit into the new calendar year, the new fiscal year, but that's what they have to do based on.
I think we
That's how it
pretty
started.
much got the
Yeah.
questions we
Okay.
had answered.
Yep.
Still going to be a little bit inconsistent.
On the adopted budget
Yeah.
piece, he's
But-
gonna come back,
but-
and he's gonna look at the new report. He's not sure how the new reporting system's gonna work. That was another piece, so we don't know what we're gonna see for reports.
Okay. Did he
So-
mention when that might be rolled out?
The new
he
part
did.
of
Well,
it?
they've already
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but they first payroll on it. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, changing accounting systems,
Yep.
that's small
Yeah,
deal.
no,
To be
it's not a
determined.
small
Yeah.
deal at all. So,
Yeah, okay. For, say, next round of folks come on the budget committee, do you think it would be useful to have, set up a meeting with the school and the budget committee to review what you talked about, to review the way they sort of, because it sounds like they're fairly different from the town, particularly in what they use like encumbrances for, right? Would it maybe, do you think it would be,
I think-
since you talked with him, would it be useful to have him come in and we'll hopefully have new members on the budget committee, at least one new member?
I think from what we've done, being able to sit down and explain the differences
Yep.
and have Nate come in and answer any questions. I'll tell you what would have been beneficial to me, had we had the opportunity right up front to understand, because I'm looking at this like I look at any budget, commitment aspect of things and thinking it's based on the year when things are moving, and it's
Right.
not necessarily. It would be a lot
Okay,
better
so-
for a new person coming in to understand that up front. I wouldn't have had to ask 4 straight months of questions of, why is this
Yep.
different each time? you know?
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, I think it would
So that's
be
something
beneficial.
something to
yeah.
look into for the next round of budget committee members, and to
The
start
first month
early.
that somebody's in would be a nice time
Yeah.
to give them some basic training on on
Yeah.
the differences.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm just curious about it. Sounded like that was going to be the case. Anybody
Yeah.
else have any
Yeah.
questions, comments? Yeah, Bob?
Just a comment. Wouldn't it be nice if we could make a manual? This is how this stuff
Yeah,
works.
Thank
something
you.
to that
Thank
effect.
you.
Yeah, so
It
that
would
you've
be
got
a
something.
whole lot easier. Boy,
Well, that's why I said documenting and
Yeah.
putting it online for us to be able to roll
Online.
it over would be good
Or
too.
each member gets
Yeah.
gets a copy and gets reading it, then it'd be a lot easier.
Yeah, it would. Absolutely.
Put it out on that Google thingy.
Yeah. That's what we do.
Point them
Yeah.
there and
Yeah.
say,
Go to your Google thingy and.
Yeah, okay.
Peggy teaches.
All right, that's a good idea, Bob. We'll see if we can,
Oh,
with our copious spare time, come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have any questions about that? It sounds like it was a worthwhile
That was
meeting.
very
so-
Very
worthwhile.
well.
Yeah.
So I haven't asked Nate what he thought of it yet, but I'll reach out to him and see what he thinks.
I'm
I
sure
would
he-
try to
He
reach
thought
out.
it went
Did-
well,
okay,
because
good.
I stayed for something
All right,
else.
All right. I have not heard of any interest. I see we have a member of the public here. Interest for the open budget committee member position.
Do you want a response?
If you're interested in the open position,
It's public comment and you're public.
Larry Brown. I'm sitting writing you a memo which says, I just read this announcement. Two things. I'm generally useful, informed, and have a fairly good handle on the municipal budget process. I come to meetings, work pretty well with groups, and don't run that often with scissors. Point one. Second point, there is always a need for new blood, new perspective, and to get someone like Humphrey and Dennis coming on board who is younger and just as civic. If you have that person, take them. If you want somebody who can, basically not come on cold and work with you in September and August, yes. So just keep that in mind. And that's not why I'm here.
I will just let you know that we don't need too much running here in the budget committee, so
That's
running
not
with
what it
scissors probably isn't something we have to worry too much about.
Running?
Let's see, I guess our next thing is the town reports. The town expenditure report was what I received from the town.
Can I go back to that for a minute,
Oh,
Mr. Chairman? Are we going to extend it, or are we going to just say?
Yes, I think, let's extend it. I agree with Larry, having somebody whose hair does not have as much gray as what a lot of our hairs have up here, I think would maybe be a good thing.
Listen, I appreciate the fact that he said younger folks and he's looking at that's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
I'm thankful for every gray hair left.
I would like to try to, and I will make a more public pronouncement on some of the various social media sites that are out there.
Well, I can repost it.
Yeah, I would
I
say
can't
that.
repost it. I don't have a
Post-
computer.
Oh!
Because the date is going to change, and we'll give them another month, but after that, Mr. Chairman, we'll have.
Yeah, I think we'll give it till our meeting in August, and if we don't have anybody, we may contact Mr. Larry Brown.
Where is he? I got to.
He's not interested right now.
But we're gonna wait till, see if we take his advice, finding somebody whose hair is not quite as gray as a lot of ours up here.
Yeah.
If the committee doesn't mind, I'd like to have us chat about something before we go to review the town expenditures
Yeah.
relative to the reports and things that we receive. We've talked before about wanting to receive like the revenue reports and the grant reports and stuff from the school. Nate's doing a really great job of getting us all those reports. We haven't chatted or we mentioned it, but we haven't really talked about it and said, yes, we formally want to ask for these documents from the town. I like the fact that we're getting the detailed expenditure report from the town. I'd like to see us get that if he could just roll it up to the whole year, he can email it and doesn't have to scan it. I think that would be much easier on whoever it is that gives it to us. instead of just asking for a particular, the particular month we're in. A little bit more cumbersome to look at, but it's, if he emails it, it's just,
It's my fault with that one,
Oh.
okay?
oh, that's fine.
That's the ledger, and
Yeah.
I thought he could cut that in half, but then I realized that the police department get their own, and so does a fire. And I asked, the way I asked for it, missing parts in it.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So I would like to see him roll it right across.
Yeah, like I said, I think, get the detailed expenditure
Yeah.
report, what other reports would we like to see?
Okay,
And the other one I can think of is
Revenue
revenue,
report, right.
revenue report.
Revenue.
This one is here, but there's also another one, revenue from all sources.
Okay, is that like a official, a revenue from all sources report?
Yes, it
Okay.
gives you all resources. This is just
All right.
taxes, and I got here, but without the bookkeeper, I could not ask for anything.
Oh, we can
The
ask
revenue
for it.
from all
Whether we
sources
get it
is everything.
It's something
Well,
else, but we can, but what I want to do is I'll write this down, I'll send a note to Ernie, copy of the email I've got for the bookkeeper, and say, we'd like to see these on a monthly basis, the Monday before the Monday a week before our meeting, or the Tuesday a week before our meeting. Give us a chance to digest it and things. So it won't be the absolute latest we could get, but it'll be a week old, but that should be good enough
Gives us
for,
plenty.
Well,
because all we're doing is reviewing things, right? We can't change anything.
Sometimes the monthly thing, sometimes it don't change much.
Yeah.
There's also another source you could get, but I think part of it's in the total, the revenue from all sources.
Yep.
The town clerk has a lot of money coming in. She can break it down by weekly, by monthly, or
Okay, but wouldn't that be in the total revenue?
it could, but
Money that's coming to the town?
yeah. Well, what that does here is the state gets, they show what the state gets, and then they see what Milton gets to keep. That's only one source, but the total revenue from, what I say, from all sources,
Yeah. total-
you will see everything from paving,
Okay.
fees and everything. The only thing you won't see on that is the meals and room and meals tax. That don't come out till December 31st.
Okay.
You'll never see it, but it's around $200,000, over $200,000.
Okay,
But that other revenue though, that is good because it tells
Yep.
you where it
Okay.
is, how
All
much
right.
you're getting.
okay, so what up?
If I
Yeah.
could, just to touch on, the part where you brought up the fact that what goes to the state and what the town gets, that's something that would be really beneficial for us to understand. as we're
Okay,
doing
do we-
it, You know?
Do we know what that's called?
That's right.
All you gotta do is see the town clerk. She knows, she knows what I'm looking
Michelle, and
for.
find out, okay.
You
Alright.
just tell her.
At least once to go find out if it's something that's worth, I mean, we
Yeah.
haven't seen it at all.
See
It'd
it
be
once,
nice
and
to find
we might
out.
say, yeah,
you know?
yeah, we don't care.
uh,
Okay, all right.
You're just starting to see revenues for a
Yep.
change.
Yes, Miss Pegg.
Is collection summary to me, collections means this is owed to us. Is this what has actually been brought in? I mean, I'm looking at this not really having a clue, but it's tax money coming in.
Do you want me to explain that? Mr. Chairman?
Please, 'cause I
Yeah,
haven't
thank
been with
you.
documents and stuff like that.
When I went to the town clerk, I said, what's the thing that you look at most that's beneficial to the town, that you can tell where the town is at? It was this one. He
Okay.
said, this is the most accurate one. What you're seeing here is the first column is called warrants. Starts year 2000. I broke it down to what those codes were. L is for lien.
Right.
P01. This is current to date. And you can go right across to see, and then you see the warrants for 2018. This is what has come in. You can see what is committed. The other side is the prior year credits assigned. Okay, some of this money is assigned. Now, this would take some dealings. I would have to have her to explain it a little bit, but you're seeing revenues coming in, and some of this stuff is committed. The back side of this is even more detailed. They broke it down. But Michelle says this is the one that she really looks at, that tells her how the town is doing. Money is coming in. And it tells you sometimes prior year credits. I'm not an auditor, but if we need to get some questions asked, I can probably ask her a lot of questions for this. This was just something I wanted
Okay.
to see. There is money coming here.
All right, because my question is, a lien means that all of that money, starting with 2000 with an L, down to 217 with an L, means that people owe back taxes and they're not paying.
It's money owed to the, I think some of
That's-
isn't that
I
owed
mean, that's what a
balance
lien
that's due
is.
to the town.
Yeah,
It hasn't,
you-
hasn't come in yet.
Look,
right.
look at it, go across it, and you can see what the number is. Okay, it's carrying over for the prior year, credits assigned. So it may have been paid, but you can see the credits on this side.
Well, I've got some that, under
yeah.
collected, it's showing some of them have been, and the interest and the penalties that have been,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to
Well, what I
figure
did-
out, okay, no, that's fine, as long as my questions are answered on this one.
The P is for, that's the property tax.
Right.
PO1 is the first half of the year, PO2 is the second.
Right,
Sewer is 01, that's July, then same thing, SO2 is the sewer. They bill twice a year,
Yep.
just like the property taxes. So that's what the codes are on the side. There is no timber in there. Sometimes there's timber in there as well, but there's nothing. And
okay.
But to touch on what Peg's comment is, there's over $1 million still owed to the town if you roll it
Yeah.
all up on that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so
so that's important to understand. You've got a budget of 5.7 million, there's still $1 million owed. That's a pretty big chunk of change.
see, now, this is not just the revenue. There's more.
Right, but I mean, this is good
I
for
think-
property taxes. My other question would be, I wonder if any of these are still the town-owned properties that we're not getting taxes? I mean, that might be a good question to ask Michelle.
Maybe? Yeah, I'm not sure who would be the best one to answer the question about town-owned properties.
Those warrants right there, if you pull that up in the system, will tell you what that money's owed from, I'm sure, so.
Yep.
Yeah, they do have the
Well-
specifics to it. I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
Michelle will be the one to ask if she
Yeah.
can.
Right.
All right, thank you, I just needed
She-
some
yeah,
explanation on it.
Yeah, Michelle would be
Okay.
very glad to help you with that.
Yeah, I know she would.
All right, I added the collection summary to the list of reports that we might like to get from the town as well.
Would you call it deflection summary?
That's what it's called at the top,
Collection
collection summary.
Oh, collection, I thought you said deflection.
Deflection.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
They'll try to deflect the request for the collection.
Duh.
Okay, so, on to our town reports. I will confess, I opened up, yep, that's town report, and that was about all the looking at the town report that I did this month.
You know, in the interest of moving our meeting along a little bit, I
Yep.
think passing on this would not be a bad thing tonight.
Okay, I've got,
Well, I'm gonna tell
Because
you.
you guys are gonna, I mean, the
oh,
selectmen are gonna go, they just went over a lot of this stuff here just recently.
Yeah,
at
I'm-
this meeting, so.
just wondering if anybody has anything in it that jumps out at them that they saw and wanted to comment on, or?
It's tough because this is, like I said, I know Bob said, it's just July, so it's
Yeah.
hard to.
Well, the thing
Well, it
is,
goes from January, though.
Yeah, but the only information in here that tells you what was spent, at least on what I'm looking at, and what we get for a report, is just July expenditures.
yeah, that's,
It shows you the percentage for the year, but it doesn't tell you what the individual items were. I think that's why we need the full report.
which one is this? Company, the ledger?
The one that we actually were using last night for Pat too. Yeah,
See-
that's only given part of it, right?
Yeah, see, this is why I asked for this one as well, a short one, because I want to see the percentage. And if I have a question, I can go back.
And that makes sense. Yeah, that
And-
makes having both.
And the short one is the one that has the percentages on it, right?
Yeah.
It's just called
This
the
one,
expenditure report?
Yeah,
Yeah. They both have it, but this one's a nice summary. to
Yeah,
look at
yeah, it's a
quickly.
summary, I will add that
yeah, short
to
summary.
my,
Yep.
yeah, the,
Short summary, long summary.
Well, the ledger, this
Well,
is
the one, the detailed one will break it all down
Yeah,
once you
yeah,
go
yeah,
through.
yeah.
yep.
Most of these budgets are within range, right where they should
I
be.
don't think they're that bad, yeah.
No,
There's a
they're
couple
not.
that are up, but it's,
Yeah, so,
like Pat explained last night, you know, he was talking about fuel and things like that, you know, the sand, you know, he explained it, we didn't see it, but he had it in there talking about why he was at 80%, because he won't spend the rest until the end of the year, so.
Mr. Chairman, as soon as I get that summary printed out, I'm hoping to do it's gonna be a lengthy one, but as soon as I get a computer to
That would
run,
be helpful.
I want to bring it to them so they can see it.
Yep.
Uh,
All right.
Ernie
can't we
printed
get
these
a
out. I did
report?
not print them out, so some of them guys
The
got
only
it.
one that I know stands out right now to me is government buildings heat,
I don't have
because they were
multiple
overexpended
conversations.
for the year.
Doesn't like it yet.
That was the one he was talking about a little bit last night. Did you see this right there?
All right.
It's at 117% expended.
Mm-hmm.
Projection of $4,000, and we've spent $4,690, $455. So
You wouldn't know anything about that, Andy? I know they may not need fuel.
I don't know if it's fuel or if if somehow some maintenance dealing with the system is also rolled in on that.
I opened it up and I saw the first page was the collection somehow, but wait a minute, we're looking at expenditure report.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to realize that, yeah, there's a whole bunch
There's
of
another
pages
one.
attached.
Do these reports available in spreadsheet form?
These?
The
Sorry.
expenditure report is, I asked Ernie about getting this in an Excel or
Excel,
CSV
yeah.
format.
Yeah.
And it was not immediately obvious to him how to do that on the expanded, whatever they call this.
Yeah, I asked that on a couple
Yeah, it
people's
wasn't,
What would really be
Obvious.
helpful is if we could get the department totals on
Yeah.
basically a summarized, everything condensed down to the department totals and percent remaining, and we just scan through those, and we only need to open up the details.
well, yeah, I think that would be the normal monthly expenditure report. Yeah,
Yeah.
so, and I've got that on a list of documents to ask for.
Yeah, I mean, that would streamline our process
Yeah,
there.
I've
by-
got,
I know why
so then you can
consider-
zero in, hey, why is this much?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, because you can actually highlight the ones
Yeah.
that all go over a certain percentage. It'd be
Yeah.
Quick and easy. The other, and I just showed Andy so he can ask, as we were looking at as I was looking at the government building ones, there's a government building equipment lease which shows up on page 13, that's at 900% expended too, so it's $4,500 expended on a $500 budget, so I don't know if it's wrong line item or what it is, but because
Yeah.
someone doesn't explain. So that was spent before July, we know that.
It was on, you said page 13?
Page 13 on the one from that Ernie sent out.
Oh,
It's, the item is 0141944742, government building equipment lease. Yeah, that's why it's tough to
Okay.
remember which one.
Yeah,
All right, there we go.
That's the one.
yep, that's it right here.
I got it, yep.
Just so you know, this will never be printed out again. Okay? Ernie did it for us, but I don't want no more like that. That's
Yeah.
51 pages here, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
told him, just send the whole thing from
Yeah.
beginning to the end.
Yeah.
I'll take
Yeah.
this,
Yep.
and if I got questions like
Yeah.
Humphrey just did, he found it in here. We
Yeah,
can
yeah,
find
like
out
I
what
said, well, I
happened.
think that, but having both the expenditure report and
Yeah.
this detailed one,
Yeah.
I think you scan the expenditure report, hey, why'd we just increase,
Yeah.
this to that for the past month? And
Well, and
then we
sometimes
can
you look at
delve
the
into
summary,
it.
maybe, the summary may show that it's in balance, but you've got some line items
Yeah,
that are
yeah,
way off,
So-
so you don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so you
Yeah.
see both.
all right. Okay, anybody else have any other questions or anything stand out about the town expenditure report? And if not,
You need your agenda?
what's that? No, I was looking to see see where we're at so far. Okay,
Okay.
about half the year, about half the budget.
Mhm. Everything looks pretty much
Pretty close.
Yeah,
in
what
line.
we kind of expect, so
Yeah.
life is good. All right, and if nobody has anything else on the town budgets, or town expenditure report, on to the school financial reports.
Okay. Whatever was included in our package, I'm sorry, it was 6/1/2018 to
I
6/30.
gave you the wrong one?
Yeah. So Nate sent the real one. Anyway, so I don't know where this one came from.
Okay, that might have, you need one? That might have been.
I have got a couple, but what I was
that
going
might have
to.
been just the one that you got. I had
Oh, okay.
everything spread out on a table, and I was trying to put this all together.
All right. Anyway, however, tonight, because the only thing that is actually final is the grant report. So all of our grant money has come in, spent, whatever. The revenue is not final The expenses are not final until July 31st. So there's really nothing to even report tonight, so I'm off easy tonight.
But the suggestion
why?
on it, no, the suggestion
We'll
on
think
it
of something.
is if you look at if you look at the reports that Nate put out, that's why it shows all the encumbrances were zeroed.
Right.
So there's money if you look at the stuff that has got the amount remaining, based on his explanation to us, you can see where they didn't spend everything, and where they, where some of the things were overspent, so you got a better
Right.
understanding of what happened.
Yeah,
That's
what
all.
shows at the bottom of what you guys were sent from Nate, we still have some outstanding invoices to come in, so it's actually showing almost $90,000 remaining. But that is not the case, and will not be the case because we've already had some more invoices coming in. So, as I said, the books do not close until the 31st of this month. Oh my gosh, we are in July, aren't we?
Yeah, that's
Well,
in
we're
like,
almost done with July.
8
week and a
days.
half. Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Where did the summer go?
So what
didn't
is
have
the overall expenditures look like? How well did he do?
Let me see if I can pull out what he gave us
Just
the other night.
curiosity.
For the school,
Yeah.
well, I got what they have here, but.
Well, it looks like
Really?
89,000, but it's really,
that's
really,
not-
really,
not
really,
quite right.
really not quite. No, wrong one. I don't know, because I got that one report that was off, and I just kind of moved along. And
I've got the report right here, Peg.
No, you don't have the one that I have
Oh,
that
you
I'm
got a
looking
separate
for.
one? Okay, no, I was gonna say, this is the one Nate sent out, is the reason.
Right, but this is another one.
Okay.
Possibly, we are looking at about $40,000 to give back to the town only this year, which we normally give back
And is that?
quite a bit more.
Is that after,
I'm sorry, what?
is that after warrant articles have been?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the only warrant article that we have to come out of that would be the 60,000 for the buildings. So, yeah, taking out the warrant article.
Okay, yeah.
So not as much as we have given back in the past.
At least you're not asking for money.
Oh, we like to, but
Well,
I tell you what,
just-
there
it's
is a couple lines that really went out. The fuel lines, overspent by 30,000.
and this year, who knows? And we're on the default budget, so it's gonna be very
Fuel
interesting.
prices are, that's
Yeah.
happening on all of them because of the
Yep.
prices.
Not to
Yeah.
mention,
No doubt about that.
winter ran right through May. So.
Yeah, I didn't think it was over until last weekend.
Well, it seemed like it came back last night.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was back.
Anything else on the school financial reports? Okay, approval of the May 21st minutes. They were up on the Google Drive. Is everybody able to access the minutes that we posted on the Google Drive? If we can digress for just a moment.
No,
I did with the June one, but I still haven't found the May one. Nope, I've got an agenda.
did these show the changes that were made? The hard copies?
What I did, I took the May 21st off the Google Drive,
Oh.
and there was some,
Yeah, I can't find it on there, I don't know if you, no, I'm not saying you
So
moved it, I'm just saying I
Oh, I
can't
don't
find
even
it.
know
You
how to
asking
move
about
it.
May?
The May 21st minutes.
Okay.
And
No, I found it, it's in the June folder. Just
Ah.
found it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thought I copied all that
And
over.
what was
Yeah,
changed?
it's in the June
It's-
folder. I
it's
was
been
looking
in-
back because the June one's in the July, so
Yeah.
okay, so it is in the June
Well,
folder.
it
All right.
would have to be in the June folder.
Yeah, no, I
right?
found it, and I didn't see it the first time, I went back through and there it is.
So were changes actually made? Because we're not seeing any changes made here.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Remember, I had to actually contact you, Tom, because I said I had made changes, so you knew but it wasn't tracking
Yep.
its changes, it was actually changing the document this last time, which was
Okay.
different than what I normally see in Google
Yeah,
Docs.
yeah, the,
It didn't track the change, and as much as, and if you don't go back up and even select it, because you have to go select it to track it too, and I did that, just didn't want to track it. just
yeah,
changed.
well,
Okay,
the,
that was not me then, because I
No.
couldn't do it, I was looking for yours.
Yeah, no, they were,
Yeah.
the comments were in there.
They're in there, but they
Yeah.
didn't say what it
yeah, cause,
was.
well, 'cause last meeting we looked and you could see
Yeah.
when, and I will be honest, I am a bad chairman, I did not go back and look at the May 21st minutes.
I make a motion that the chairman be flogged.
Have at it.
Okay.
Be careful,
Let
you
'em
may be
off.
looking for a new chairman.
Don't go do that.
Don't flog them too hard.
Yeah, no.
Oh. As I recall, when we reviewed these last month, I didn't have any changes to make to them.
I thought the May 21st ones were pretty close when we,
Yeah, when we looked at
I
them
didn't
before.
see anything
I'll
else.
make a motion to approve them.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the May 21st minutes. Any more discussion on the May 21st minutes? All those in favor of approving the May 21st minutes?
Aye.
All those opposed? Chair votes aye. Nobody was opposed, nobody, any abstentions? All right, it was unanimous. We have approved the May 21st minutes. Okay, and back to our June, I'm sorry, oh, getting ahead of myself. June 25th minutes.
Chairman, I got one here. And that's where I was wondering about the 21st when we sent it, that we thought we passed it. If you look on page 4, where it says May 21st, 2019, motion was made by Mrs. Hurd to table May 21st, 2019 minutes. Second by Ms. Smith. Committee moved to approve the minutes with Mr. Carey opposed. So motion was 6-1. This is where the confusion came in.
Oh, okay.
Now, that motion was to table it until
Okay.
today.
So
Yeah.
now we gotta
Yeah.
take out,
Yeah. That's what it
yeah,
was.
okay, we'd have to take out committee move to approve the minutes. But others, I did oppose something. Why would I do that? There's no reason for me to do it. That whole line should be stricken. Committee moved to approve the minutes with Mr. Carey opposed, although I did oppose something, but can you figure
I
it
think
out?
it was, I think that what it's supposed to say is the committee moved to table the approval of the minutes. And you didn't want to table them at the time.
Yeah,
You
at the
thought we should-
time.
You thought we should just
Yeah.
approve them.
Yep, I think I
I'm pretty
remember
sure
that
that's what it
now.
was. Geez, I can't believe no one's
Yeah,
got a
so that
month.
should have just said to table, move to table the
Yeah.
approval of the minutes.
Was this on the 21st?
Yeah, this was the June meeting talking about talking about the minutes right here. on
That's the only thing
21st.
I saw in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
So
you
on the
did.
June.
Okay.
Yeah, so the June one on, right here.
Page 4.
Motion made by Ms. Hurd to table the two.
Okay.
That was the one, Peg, you and I had gone back because we'd made comments and it was like,
Nothing
we
was
couldn't
there.
tell, nothing,
Yeah,
you
nothing
couldn't tell,
marked
yeah.
what it was, but I went back
Yeah.
through it, couldn't find anything
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
everything looked like it was changed, so.
Yep. Okay, so was there a change that needed to be made?
There's a change to the June one that needs to be made under the May 21st, 2019.
Yep,
And it should say, committee moved to, and it should have said to table
Table,
the
yeah.
approval of the minutes.
okay, hang on a second. While we're,
Yep.
okay, we are in suggesting mode. Table moved to table, or committee moved to,
Instead of saying to approve, it should say
Yeah.
to
yep,
table
table.
the approval of the minutes.
All right,
You correct now?
yep.
Okay.
Yep, I corrected that one here, so Sherry doesn't have to.
I'm just,
Well, I have it here, and this is also part, okay. What I've done is, instead of telling it to edit, I turned on suggesting, so you can see what I suggested that we change.
Okay.
Already?
All right.
on page 3, Tom,
Yes, sir?
under the school financial reports, the
Yep.
second paragraph, the approximately $40,000 difference, and it just has in here that it may have to do with food service
Yeah, it
line.
was.
It did have
Yeah.
to do with the food service
Okay.
line.
Okay.
So if you can just change
May have.
may
May
have
have.
to,
It
It
had
did?
to do, yeah, it had to, yeah, it did to do, that was.
it did to do.
Yeah, it had to do.
There we go. Change made. Okay, anybody else see anything that needs to be made, changed?
Made change.
Did you
Yeah.
dude?
It has been a long week, I apologize.
And that was just last night for you, so yeah,
It's been a long week.
no, looking
Okay.
at it, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as changed.
I will second.
Are you guys fight over it?
Okay, all those in favor of
Second,
approving
please.
the June
Dennis.
25th minutes?
Gonna second it.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All abstained? Chair votes aye, it is unanimous. Ooh, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, and we shall see. It says changes are saved. Go back and look at them. All right, if we go back to our agenda. Okay, we have approved our minutes. We've approved our minutes. Do anybody have any business that may come before the board? Nobody else has any other business on the board? All right, hey, this is, we're getting there.
Keep going.
And do we have any public comment or questions from our one member of the public that has stayed with us
Yes,
here?
as a matter of fact, I do. I will do the dryer stuff first. I didn't realize where the conversation was going. If you read Foster's within the last week, there was an article on the Rochester School District, an unexpected, quote, a windfall of either, I forget what they're calling it now, either impact or disaster aid, which permitted them to return $700,000 to the city, which the business manager pointed out represented about 1.25% of, I believe, a $46.9 million budget. And he was very happy with that figure because anything that pushes toward 1% is an accomplishment. Milton didn't get that. And I'm sure you had the conversation, but I will bring it up again, that the impact of the default budget and the impact of the loss of the warrant article items has driven down the access to those revenues which exist because of the rejiggering of teachers coming and going and unexpected size of grants coming in. That's the dry stuff. The second part is what I will call shameless propaganda. And this, which I will hold up to that is a naked coffee can. Does it show?
Yeah.
Okay. No label. This happens to be chock full of nuts. The label peels off easily. On the 18th of August, we are going to have Children's Day, and these will become a punchwork children's lantern. You put a tea candle in the bottom. They go home happy. If any of you are drinking coffee and the label comes off without pouring coffee over it, drop them off at the Farm Museum at the front ramp to the country store. And thank you back there. And come on the 18th and punch out your own kitty lantern.
Glad you added the
Okay.
lantern part.
And
May I make a public statement? Yeah. The Moose Mountains Regional Greenways Woods, Water, and Wildlife Festival is the 10th of August, Saturday, at Branch Hill Farms. But your little coffee can reminded me, the kids do all sorts of great activities, but one of the things is making bee houses. And they take clay and put it into one of all of the little milk cartons that I collected from the school, and they put clay in it, and then daylily, dry daylily stems stuffed down in, and then they hang them, and the bees go in and live there.
Oh, the mason bees.
Yeah.
Close the mud tubes, yes.
So anyway, plus they do all sorts of fun activities, and it's
Okay.
great.
So we doing
Great,
public
great, great.
service announcements here?
You got one?
I got one.
All right. Why
Milton, the Milton Historical Society is currently trying to do some donation, trying to establish some donations. We've been, with my wife has been very successful. Index Packaging is contributing. Proline is contributing. Milton Hardware is contributing. So we're looking for donations for either financially or labor or materials to fix our roof. It is, the Historical Society belongs to the town of Milton. So I'm throwing out a suggestion that supporting your local historical society is a good thing to do, and you can contact myself or Sandy Woods for any donations you may want to provide.
All right.
Thanks.
Mr. Chairman, this is not a public comment. What it is, I meant to do this during the school reports. The school board have given me their books. This is the
audit.
the financial statements for the audit, 2018. Now, I took one. I got 3 left. If anybody wants them, to take them. They donated their books to us. So it's up to you. I should have put it in front. That would have been on the right track, but I didn't.
Yeah, I mentioned today at our meeting that I looked through it. I mean, I don't know how many pages there are, but very, very easy for the auditors to come in and do the audit. Everything is right there.
Oh, so this is the book you present to the auditors, that's not the output?
No, that's the output from the auditors.
that's the output from the auditors,
Right.
okay.
So after they've
Okay.
collected everything and asked all their questions, and
Anybody else want one?
so, yeah, I mean, Nathan and Sue
I got
Delisle
another one.
Okay.
do a really good
All
job making sure that everything is
Okay,
in order.
I meant to do that early. I'm sorry.
oh, that's all right.
Okay, but
So good luck reading it.
Anybody else have any other,
Do you want one?
yes, Dennis?
I actually have one from an audience.
Hey, how about that?
Mr. Les Elder, most
Oh.
of you know Les, is asking, is there a statute of limitation on monies that are encumbered by a local town or school district in New Hampshire? Obviously, we can't ask him in person what he meant by that, but
Well, that's,
Face
Good
value.
question. I remember, seriously, with the town, Stan Netto had a real problem with the town and their encumbrances, because their encumbrances really were rollovers, where ours are spent and we don't really have any rollover.
okay.
Yeah, the school
Encumbrances,
board's
do you remember that?
encumbrance is not the
yeah,
same
but
thing.
that's a
Right.
little bit,
Yeah, that's
Did-
not.
but
Yeah.
they may still have them
They have
similar
money
to the
that gets,
town.
yeah, they have money left over. You
But I
have money
think-
left over, it's not used in that encumbrance type line, it's a little different. than
The-
what
the-
you're-
But where do we have money left
Typically-
over?
No, what you're, okay, what you're looking
Typically-
at right now, what you still have, you're still looking on whether or not money's spent. You've given money back to the town in the past, the school.
Right.
Which meant you had money that was left over. I'm not saying it rolled into your budget, I said yours is different
Well-
than the
Oh,
town's
right, than the town,
encumbrance.
because they have
I
actual,
think-
Point of view, you know.
I think the bottom line is we don't have the information we need to answer
Right,
that
right.
question.
If you talked about that, they encumbered money
Yeah.
last year. They have 1 year to give, to
When
spend
they
it.
encumbered
The
money.
town.
Yes, and
Yeah.
if they don't spend it, it goes back to the general fund.
yeah,
They have 1 year to spend it.
Well,
yeah, I
So
remember that.
that's,
Yeah.
I
That's the only
believe
one.
that's what he's asking.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
1 year.
if you want to throw it out there one more time, because he's probably listening.
Okay, well, any
gonna say,
time,
can
well,
you
I
repeat
can
the
let
question?
Andy.
The question is there a statute of limitation on monies that are encumbered by a local town or school district in New Hampshire? Now, let me add something to that, because now that I've read it. Is there a limitation on how long you have to encumber money? or to spend encumbered money? Right, that's two different questions,
Okay.
right?
I
Yeah,
believe.
Do you have to only till the end of the budget year to define if the fact that you are going to encumber money? Or does it mean
The,
if you've encumbered it, how long do you have to spend it?
if money's been encumbered, you've got a year to spend it on the town side.
Okay,
And you have to encumber it by the,
It before the end of the
Before the
year.
end of the year, by the
Before the end of the
31st.
Before the end of
year.
this calendar year.
because
Wanna
then
make sure
all
we
money's
cover
go
all
back
the
into the
bases.
general fund.
Yeah.
good.
yeah, and I don't believe the school can
Yeah, and I don't-
encumber
I don't
any
think-
money
Yeah, no.
going over. It's like,
Yeah,
really, please? We'd
Yeah.
love to use,
And I know they can't.
yeah, I know.
Doug wants to change that.
Yeah.
I know, he'd
And by the
love
way, and
to.
that is why I, like, when we talked in our discussion today, where we said they're calling it an encumbrance, but it's actually a commitment of money that's
yeah.
for the plan for
Yeah.
the year. It's not
And that's
encumbered.
Right.
part of the confusion.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
Les, I hope that helped.
all right, and Mr. Brown, do you have any other comments from the public? All right, good. Hey,
you.
before anybody says anything else, our next regularly scheduled meeting will be the 27th of August in these chambers at 6 PM. And,
Wait a minute. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay.
You said
all those in favor?
26.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? We are adjourned. See y'all on 27th.
Good thing you taught
Phew.
me that. Okay. I better change that, or I'll be here by